Swamp Fox at Family Kingdom is a classic woody that is not only pure fun, but also has great airtime and laterals. This is my personal review of Swamp Fox. Is it just as good as enthusiasts lucky enough to ride it say? Or is it overrated? Let's find out. Let's start off with the quick stats of Swamp Fox. The coaster was built by Philadelphia Toboggan Company in the form of a figure-8 layout in 1966. Obviously, the coaster is located at Family Kingdom. It's 72 feet tall but has a 62-foot drop. It goes 50 miles an hour and it has a track length of 2,400 feet. So those are the quick and easy stats. Alright, now let's get into the layout. When the train is dispatched, it takes a slow right turn into the pre-lift, which basically consists of two other slow turns into the lift hill. As to be expected, the lift hill is pretty slow, being a classic wooden roller coaster, but it does give an amazing view of the beach and the Atlantic Ocean in front of you. Then you take another right turn, slowly but surely picking up speed. Then you dive down the first drop, giving a short pop of floater in the front and back rows. However, there is what feels like a brief pothole near the valley of the drop. And yes, this ride is definitely bumpy. You then rise into the first camelback, which is trimmed and really nothing special. But then you go into a smaller hill that gives good ejector airtime. But then you rise into the most surprising element for me on the ride. The rise into the turnaround. The turnaround itself isn't great, however the rise into it gives surprisingly great ejector airtime. In the front, that is. The turnaround doesn't give any good forces, but the drop off of it was also pretty good. Then there's a double up, which provides great and abrupt airtime. Then there's another double up that felt more drawn out, but still fun and gave good floater. You then rise into the final turnaround, which surprised me. It gave the best laterals of the entire ride. Then you're officially in the unload station. Unless the brakes were to fail. More on this next video. Anyways, that concludes your ride on Swamp Fox, so let's get into my opinions and rating of the ride. First off, I'm going to go ahead and join what Roller Coaster and Canopy Coaster both say. This is definitely an underrated ride that not too many people talk about. Although the airtime wasn't as insane as I was expecting, this was my first non-kiddie coaster with buzz bars, but the airtime definitely still had a heck of a kick. The laterals on some moments were great, but the ride, although recently retracked, was still a little bumpy. I ran out of credits just after my last ride on it, and I'm kind of glad I did. In row 12, aka back row, it was the bumpiest ride I had gotten on it. And that was on a wheel seat, so I guess I was probably just asking for it. The ejector, floater, and flowjector airtime that I got on this was really fun. The best way to describe the airtime was abrupt and just pure fun. It's one of those rides that it's just so much fun to ride, like Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. Swamp Fox is definitely what I'd consider a ride that isn't too intense, other than the laterals and airtime, but it's just absolutely fun. The fact that it had separate load and unload stations decently surprised me. The operators were really kind and funny, the buzz bars were absolutely amazing, and it was overall a good experience. There was even an option for buying on-ride photos, which very much surprised me being at a very small park like Family Kingdom. Family Kingdom overall was a very charming place, and it definitely reminded me of Fun Spot Kissimmee. But now it's time for my rating. Swamp Fox was pure fun while also providing great forces. It's one of those charming beach roller coasters that you could ride over and over again, as long as you have a roughness tolerance. It isn't too painful, wheel seats are rougher though. The longest I had to wait, even with one train ops, was probably 5 to 10 minutes, and that's only because I wanted to wait for front row. So what would I rate Swamp Fox out of 10? I'm taking only 1.5 points away for its bumpiness and some dull moments, but I'm giving this charming ride an 8.5 out of 10. So that's about all for this review. If you've ridden it, what are your thoughts on it? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.